I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Just getting myself set up here.
Yeah, no worries. I'm a little early.
No, that's okay.
Just eager to talk to other people.
I know, right? Where am I gonna? Yeah, this is better.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. So start with the obvious.
I'm handling it pretty well, actually. I'm actually in Winnipeg right now. I'm with my boyfriend. So I flown to Washington right before this all happened, where he was playing hockey. And then, 2 days after I got there, his season was canceled. And then a couple days after that, we drove from Washington to Winnipeg. So that was like a 25-hour drive. And then we've just been quarantining here. And I haven't gone home to Toronto yet because it's so much worse there, and it's more fun to be here quarantined with my boyfriend. So I'm handling it pretty well.
Is that where his home base is, in Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Winnipeg. Yeah, so we're hanging out with his family and stuff. So it's been nice.
Yeah, that's good. Are you doing anything for creative outlet while you're in lockdown?
Yeah, actually, I like to draw and paint, so I have some watercolors here. So yesterday I did some drawing and I did some painting, and I downloaded or I bought Masterclass. Have you heard of Masterclass?
Yeah, I got it as well.
Yeah, so I bought that because I'm like, this is a great time for me to be learning, and I've been watching Natalie Portman's class on acting. She's so fantastic. Yeah. So that's been really good too. I miss school. I love learning, so I like that.
Yeah, plenty of time for that right now.
Yeah.
Were you supposed to shoot anything coming up, or?
No, I wasn't supposed to shoot anything. I had a couple of auditions, like self-tapes that I had to do while I was here, but no one knows when shooting is gonna be able to start again. I mean, a crew is this group of 100 people. I don't know when that's going to start. Probably not till June. So I'm not even getting auditions. The whole industry is shut down.
So you star in the show Northern Rescue. How has that role impacted your career to date?
I think more than anything, it gave me the confidence to, and the reassurance that I am a good actor. Because when you're just starting out, and before you get that role that kind of changes your life, you don't know if you're good enough, and Northern taught me that I was good enough. And actors need a lot of reassurance sometimes, and they need people to tell them that they're doing a good job, because most of the time you don't get that. You'll do a scene, and they'll be like, okay, moving on. You're like, was it good? And Northern taught me not only confidence in myself, but also taught me that I can stand up for myself way more. And I have so many, what am I trying to say? My opinions matter. My decisions matter. I can choose what I want my hair to look like, what my makeup looks like. When you're a lead character, you get to choose all of those things. And wardrobe, and you can talk to the director about character choices, and that was really cool. I just thought before that everything was kind of decided for me, and Northern taught me that I can make those decisions on my own, and that was really cool.
That's awesome. And what was that experience like on set?
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was obviously the biggest role that I've had. And it was only a year after me getting my agent, so I was such a baby, and everyone was so nice, and the crew and the cast, we all just became such a little family, and it was so sad when we had to separate and all go home. But it was a great experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you're also a director. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience with that?
So I went to Sheridan for, I graduated with a Bachelor of Film and Television, and I went into the writing and directing streams, so all behind the camera stuff, because I've also really liked to do that. So I directed, I think in total I directed 5 short films in the end, all of them like 10 minutes and under. And I really enjoyed that. I always wanted to write and I always wanted to direct. And I learned so much being in school and working with a ton of creative people that wanted to do the same thing that I wanted to do. And it was very, very competitive, even in school. Mm-hmm. And it is in the industry. It's so competitive. And school sort of mirrored that. So it was really tough. And it was actually really hard being a female in that program. Guys just don't find your ideas are valid. And they would shut me down all the time. And I was one of the top kids in the class, but still, it didn't matter. I was a girl, so my ideas didn't really matter. So that was tough. Not all the time, but I really found that people were pretty sexist in that program. Mm-hmm. But I still loved it. I like directing, and I think acting really helps with directing, too. They kind of go hand in hand. Knowing a background of acting and then knowing a background of directing when you're acting is super helpful. That program taught me a lot and helped me with my acting, too. For
sure. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And so you just touched on sort of your experience as a woman in a school setting, but what has your experience been like as a female in the industry as a whole?
Yeah. So I started kind of after the whole Me Too movement. So I never really saw how bad it was on set when it was more okay to be inappropriate. But you can definitely see the aftermath of Me Too. Like, there's such a shift. Mm. People really watch what they say and bite their tongues on set. Because before, people would just joke around and, like, make really sexual jokes, and it was okay. And now, if anyone says that anything even close to sexual or inappropriate, everyone is kind of on edge. But, I mean, I still did have a couple of experiences on set with people being inappropriate, and you tell someone and right away it's like it's handled. Okay. Which is good.
Good, yeah.
So it's really nice that finally women can feel confident being on set, or more confident being on set, and there's always someone that you can talk to if anything goes south. So,
do you find from the professional angle, you mentioned that your ideas weren't necessarily validated a lot of the time being in that school setting. Do you have any of that sort of experience on set or just in like just the acting world, or do you feel like people are a bit more like open to your ideas? And
I think it's a little bit more open in the acting world because when you're a director, you're like calling all the shots. Mm-hmm. So people can be like, oh, I don't like that idea, or that's not really right. But then a guy says the same thing, and all of a sudden it's a fantastic idea. But no, I think when it comes to acting, it's a little bit different. It's more chill, especially when you're like a lead actor on set. You're kind of treated like royalty. I mean, it's great. Everybody kind of has to listen to what you say. I mean, you don't want to be a diva, but yeah, you're treated a little bit better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what's the first thing you're doing when lockdown ends?
I'm going to go have a drink.
Yeah.
At a bar or a restaurant, something.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think that's what most people want to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
No problem.
Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Have a good one.
You.
Thanks.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.